Go live.
Hmm.
And we're live. How is everybody?
Happy Christmas Eve's Eve.
Yes.
Cause I like the idea of an Eve's Eve and a Boxing Day's Boxing Day. Extends a little bit.
Yes, for sure.
You know, yeah. Welcome back to.
Sebastian, though, two
Oh,
euros.
oh.
Here's me kickstarting the super chats.
Uh,
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much, sir.
that's the spirit.
The Christmas spirit. The ghost of Christmas super chats.
And speaking of presents, we have so many videos coming for you guys. Can't get more Christmas presenty than just back to back to back to back to back to back to back ship content. So if you want to thank us for that in advance, hey, put in $5 because there's a lot of good stuff. And they're all quite in depth.
We got more videos coming than Pornhub. And they might be more in depth too. Olivia throws in $2. My car got stolen, so this better be funny. Oh no.
Uh, Sorry about
That's
that.
awful. Sorry to hear that.
Hopefully insurance and such can do its job, etc. Good luck on that. Well, I will start sharing and be back with you in a second.
That gives me a chance to tell you guys to hit that like button. If you're just tuning in after the fact, if you're watching this when it's not live, please consider sending a super thanks to show your support. We'd really appreciate that. If you're here now and you want a super chat, that'd be great because it does help the channel. And we do also read them all on the air. So if you have any questions, concerns, anything you want to point out to us, by all means, super chat, let us know. We can read those all on the air. So yeah. And do the typical things, join the channel, make sure you're subscribed, click the notification bell icon to all. And if you want to help us on a monthly basis, like I said, either joining the channel or heading over to Patreon/Trekyards. We'll do that also, kind of like a monthly subscription service. So yeah, also the links down below, there are links to Teespring and TeePublic to grab some cool Trekyards merchandise. Like I got this one, just like a faded Trekyard shirt. So if you guys are interested in that kind of thing, please go check it out. It would really help us out immensely. So yeah, looking forward to talking about this episode 19, Supernova Part 1. Only one more episode to go. That'll be on the 29th. So should be fun. Should be fun. Alrighty. 23 people here, 18 likes. Hit that like button, like I said. We have one new member, but it's not showing me who that member is, which is weird. So thank you to whoever joined the channel, much appreciated. Usually it shows me, but it must have been before the live started that somebody did that. So thank you in advance, or thank you after the fact, not in advance. You know what I mean. Yes, Sergeant Montgomery, live long and prosper. Merry Christmas, and it's cold. Absolutely. Yeah, had to do some shoveling of the deck and stuff today.
I'm back.
Oh no,
Wait, what?
getting quite a bit of snow, so hopefully we can be able to travel this weekend. So
Did you say, oh no, if I'm back?
no, I did not say oh no.
Okay.
I think I did.
He has a default mean to me reaction, so someone just says stuff that's like, oh, did I mean to say that? Oh, I did anyway.
Yeah.
Dear me.
Trekyards says those shields make me want some honeycomb. Well, I appreciate that the fact there are two types of shields in this episode as well. The standard bubble type shield and also it's close to the hull shields. So
yeah, I wasn't worried the Klingons were going to be given shields like that, but I mean, I was fine with there still are hexagon shields for some reason. I guess because no detail is low detail. Normally just have like a particle effect, a smoky effect.
yeah.
But it's like, it's fine. Yeah, at least there were two variants. And then lots of not shields. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. David David Kerr, $10. Great show.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see how it ends. Yes. I'm
Yeah.
interested to see how they solve this problem.
And hopefully, because I was very affected by the end, it won't be effortlessly easy and a quick wrap up, because they've set stakes that are somewhat humongous. It
Yeah.
best not
Well,
be a quick wrap up or a no, we're not going to deal with it for more than 5 minutes. Like, it needs to be the entire episode just to get out of the situation. I mean, the entire 10 or 20 episodes is leading up to this moment, so it makes sense it would run the entire episode solving it. But like,
yeah.
it best
Well,
be the whole episode.
problem is nobody can just come in and save the day. Like Okuna can't show up with a bunch of ships that aren't Starfleet but want to help, because all those ships are going to do, like, there's no bad guy to defeat really, except for, the construct. So the only way they can really defeat this thing, I think, might be to destroy the protostar. But otherwise, you're just taking phaser fire to prevent other ships from getting hit, and beaming people aboard. But you even saw one of the Klingon bird of preys get annihilated. So even if it had beamed people aboard, this is just not an easy solution to this problem. And if it is as simple as destroying the construct, destroy the protostar.
Yep.
Which I don't want them to do, because I love the protostar.
I mean, that is the only really obvious solution. Some random person warps in, beams them out because no one's got shields, blow up the protostar. Everyone's fine except all the massacre dead people.
The thing is, too, if you destroy the construct, is it going to solve the problem? Because all the other ships are infected now.
Well, it's clearly controlling it because we zoomed into it. Like,
yes, yeah.
Like, there may still be a virus, but I don't know if they'd have the same. Because it's yeah. It felt like it's a linked thing versus a self-replicating virus.
Yeah.
Because and it's actually answered, because as soon as the Federation ships were not infected, they warped in. So, because we saw that every single time. Actually, I rewatched it every time someone warps in. So, it only affects them in a certain range. The distress call is what brings them in, but they're not actually infected until they're right there. So, yeah, without it, I'd assume that it'll be fine. Except, like I said, the thousands of dead people and many destroyed ships. But, end of season 1, kill the protostar. I mean, that's quite a bold move. End the plot of the Diviner and kill the protostar. It's like, huh. Season 2.
I can see them doing it.
Season 2.
Joshua 11345 puts in $5.
Thank you.
Do you think Dal should have beamed over as many crew members as possible, considering how safe the protostar was? Yes, that would have been a good idea. Beam Janeway and her crew over to the protostar. Sure.
I mean, that's tricky because you almost create the effect of, well, who are you choosing not to save? It's a tiny ship. Its life support will not be, I wouldn't think, be able to do more than 100 people, 200 at an absolute insane stretch. Because things aren't designed for that many people. So that's not even going to be the Dauntless crew, potentially, or just the Dauntless crew. And then, obviously, they would then take over. So anything they do, they then get taken over. And narratively, that you've lost that as a thing.
More, as we know with all of our ship videos we do, most ships have, like, insane emergency evacuation limits. Like the Enterprise D, 1701D, has like a 10,000 emergency evacuation limit, but it's a huge ship. Even the smaller ships can accommodate more than you'd think they could in emergency situations. So yeah, I'd say 200 at the max that's a lot, actually, for the protostar, I think.
I mean, they'd be packed in. I mean, that'd be limited time.
Yeah.
Because it isn't the amount of space, the amount of air systems you've got. And these ships are designed with that in mind. Why would an experimental ship for travel, which is not even an NCC, be designed with a huge bonus air limit? It wouldn't be a priority, would it? Other ships, sure, like Galaxy class, but you wouldn't. So.
The Dark Lord Revan, $5.
Thanks, Revan.
Gold Press Latin Bars says they solve this with time travel. Yeah, that's kind of what I said too.
See, I didn't even consider that till you said that, so I'm certainly.
Well, it's still got the episode title name, Supernova, which is intriguing because
there isn't a supernova in it.
Yeah, not until the protostar blows up, because it's a star, and it goes supernova. Dun, dun, dun.
Maybe by blowing up the protostar itself, they go back in time because of the gravity well. Maybe Rock works out some clever time dilation, and they beam back. Because if it's a mini star, a protostar,
Yep.
They just have to run around it 5 times and they'll go to the past.
Oh my goodness.
It's a proto slingshot.
And the poll says, what did you think of this episode? Loved it? Great? Didn't like it? So go vote on the poll. Keep hitting that like button, guys.
And this is our blast live of before Christmas. So if you want to help us with a Christmas gift, now is the time. We'd love to have minimum at least this time. And I certainly bought many Christmas presents for many people.
But you know what can also help us with that is ad revenue.
There's 3 levels of delay here. Your Skype, my Skype, the internet, what they see. Yeah, that was so well timed.
It always happens. We always have a nice segue into it. It's good.
It's crazy. As if they're listening. So Stuart, what do you think of Prodigy Season 1, Episode 19?
I loved it. I don't think it was my favorite of the season by any means, but it is very good. We are the ship guys. We love the ships. So seeing all those ships do their thing was awesome. But attacking each other was kind of sad. So, and there was a lot of things there's a lot of sitting around and waiting for these ships before they got infected, and also just the slowness of them slicing each other up, which I think might have been the construct trying to allow them to, suffer. And also, as we've said before, a good virus doesn't kill the host before it infects everything else. So it's calling in other ships to get as many as possible. So I really enjoyed it, but I think there were some things that were a little bit weird, like Dreadnought being in not kill mode. He could easily could have killed each of the kids, and I think definitely could have killed Al the way he had pinned him to the wall. But non-lethal mode apparently was activated.
Yeah, I think when the problem gets solved, the lady might punish Dreadnought for not murdering them when they had the chance, because they had the chance.
Mm-hmm.
They won all of them against all of them in under a minute, pretty much, or 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other issues I had was the warp coils and the deflectors turning red for some look at us for evil reason, or infected reason. And that's kind of funny because in Transformers G1 there's something called the hate plague. I mean, they get infected with it, they like glow red, their entire body. This is like hey look, we're infected. So I kind of get it visually, but it's just kind of weird at the same time. So
did you know we're evil?
Yeah.
Yes. How did you know? Because you made us all red. Oh. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good episode, and I'm excited to see how it closes out because it's quite a cliffhanger to leave us on. So.
And obviously, the question then, how did it feel after rewatches? Because obviously we talked about instantly after you finished it. How do you feel after many rewatches?
I enjoy it more after rewatches, I think, because I know it's coming, and I can know to look for certain little details, like ship names and stuff like that, and other specific details. But yeah, I think it gets better with viewings actually. But yeah, how about you? What do you think of it?
No, it's great. It's if not the best of this half season, really close for different reasons. Obviously, the TOS episode was great, but this had a lot more emotional weight just in every single aspect, and even obviously had dripping with canon, etc. No, I said to you, and I even emailed Aaron a little personal well done, because as a filmmaker myself, the pacing of this episode is so insanely hard to do, because they were trying to balance giant space battle, 2 giant space battles in fact, although one's more of a giant space annihilation, but you know what I mean, 2 giant space battles, a giant space chase, huge character moments with Dahl, Gwen, Diviner, Janeway to some extent, several plot twists with the whole artificial comm thing going down, the twist at the end of the saving that time to breathe, the death of the Diviner is a huge plot point, and an action beat with the kids. Like, so much stuff. It is shocking they fit it all in, and it feels so flowing. There's only 2 moments I'd say pace wise you're like, huh? Mostly I would say the Dahl and Gwen chat, because it just grinds everything to a halt. Luckily, that's when the Protostar loses its shields, because clearly no one's piloting it properly because they've left, and therefore it gets defeated within about a minute. So there's a slight okay. But apart from that, I mean, it's shockingly well achieved considering what they had to do. I don't know if I could achieve this well balanced. I'm sure the editing was really difficult here to achieve it. And as a space CG connoisseur, I mean, the ambition of this space battle is insanity. I would never have guessed this many shots because it's so full and fleshed out, and if you combine obviously at the end, as I said to you in our review, this has got to be the most single space shots of any Trek episode or movie ever in one battle sequence. Basin Rift, quite a few shots. This has more. Deep Space Nine, one episode. There's lots, but there's not like 30 or 40 or 50. Especially if you include outside the window as well, because obviously most ships you are inside the ship. So it's astoundingly ambitious for a kids show, and considering, you know, every single phase blast without shields is a murder of the crew. This kid show is killing thousands of officers who are entirely innocent. Every second people are dying. That's gruesome as all hell. I don't think many kid show would do that and still have good pace and good camera angles and fun and strength. And then the weight of the end where the Klingon show up is super amazing. The weight of her speech is super amazing. The end moment of oh shit is super powerful. You know, I equate the end of this episode to Best of Both Worlds in terms of power. Like, it's that level of, oh shit, how do we possibly get out of this? Everything's at stake. Everything's going to go wrong. That is exactly how I felt. And that's a huge compliment. So, very positive on that.
Joshua11345 throws in $5. Having a few experienced Starfleet officers might help getting rid of the construct.
Mm-hmm.
True. And Trekyards reiterates what he said last night on my live. My belief is that they went red because they were embarrassed because they caught a spatially transmitted disease.
Right, okay. I mean, it's as good as any other reason, maybe, possibly. Now, just briefly, what do you think about my comment about Best of Both Worlds? Are you too far, or are you close?
I almost said the same thing. I almost said the same thing when I said it's hell of a cliffhanger, but I just didn't bother going into it. But it was on my mind, yes. So I totally agree. Hopefully it's not as quick a wrap-up, though, which I think it might be.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the issue here, is that there's so much to do, and to give it its proper time, and to give a satisfying season finale, and to give a satisfying what's to look forward to, and to, challenge. Thy name is Prodigy Supernova Part 2. Yeah.
And Matt Boardman throws in $10.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I believe this episode was first written by Aaron McNamara, who had been the writer's assistant for the season and got the nod to lead write this episode. Oh, really?
Okay.
Wow.
Cool. Yeah.
That's a hell of a thing.
That is. Good job. Okay, so we start off with, oh no, we're doomed. And straight to the giant, very, very Discovery looking. Like, this looks almost exactly like the Zhenhe brig. It's way too big, Stuart. It's way too big.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And why are the floors so reflective? It's not an experimental ship. Boo.
It's just Janeway saying there's a weapon on board the ship. You gotta let me out of here. You gotta trust me.
Yes.
And we cut away immediately almost, but that's okay.
And my only issue in the second time watching is why the hell didn't this lady help her here? Because here she's entirely dedicated to doing her job. And I didn't really feel a distinct change of mind moment. She's all of a sudden said, now I'm going to help you! But why? Because I feel like it now. So I wish there was something that led up to that better. Having now watched it a second time, knowing it's
it would have been better if there was somebody else in the room, and once they left, then she did it.
Yeah. So this scene, I think, should have been taken out if you were going to keep the other scene, because the motivation doesn't work as well for me.
But that comes a little bit later, though.
Yes.
So we go on the Protostar Bridge, and they're talking about hell of a welcome party, and if this thing gets out, this fleet's going to be decimated.
Yes.
And then, well, luckily Janeway can tell them, and he's like, I kind of made her seem a little bit insane. So good job, Dal.
Why is the construct on the bridge already in the first scene showing them ships?
It's not on the bridge. It's a holographic display of it.
Yeah.
But,
why are they projecting?
Don't know.
Okay. I didn't even catch that second time. I thought that was a normal hologram. But boy, how pretty is it to see these ship silhouettes out the window with all their blue and red glows?
Yeah.
Looking sexy.
And I gotta say, the Sovereigns look better with the blue deflector. Just gonna say it now.
They look bland with blue deflector. It limits the color profile a lot, but it is consistent at least. And I never noticed either time watching it. Didn't hit me at all.
Yeah. And we get Jellicoe on at Earth, at its Federation headquarters, and talking about medical leave. She was fine when she told me about this weapon on board stolen by imposters, posing as Starfleet. So,
although when did they know there was a weapon aboard?
I don't know.
Because I thought they learned that with the thing they just did with Janeway. I thought they were trying to find the protostar because the kid stole it.
Yep.
They didn't know there was a weapon.
Because his exact line is, the Vice Admiral was perfectly healthy when she informed me there was an unknown weapon on a ship that was stolen by imposters posing as Starfleet.
Because they're trying to say that so as soon as she got tractor beamed to the Dauntless, she was allowed to call the Admiral. And as soon as that call finished, she got thrown in the brig. Because the only time she knew, and then she would have explained, I swapped bodies, and would have got him to say, take over. So that's definitely a plot hole of she didn't know until like 2 minutes ago. None of them knew.
Yeah, it is a plot hole. And I never noticed it till you just pointed it out now. So
yeah. Well, it's the same thing as Thingy walks in, and she's like, I've been ordered to do this. And he's like, do it. I'm like, but this is the first time you're speaking to him, and the Andorian didn't give you an order because he didn't know what you were talking about. So who ordered you to do this thing? You didn't. And then the Admiral just double ordered you, but you already... Who ordered you? I know she's lying, but like, what? He didn't call her on that. It's weird.
Yeah, Angelico gives them shit for bringing it to their front doorstep. So... So the plan from Essentia is to disrupt their shields and allow a boarding party, and Jellicoe approves the plan. So,
yes.
Take out their shields. Which there's a lot of sitting around here and waiting. Nobody really doing anything, like trying to contact the protostar. And later, once the shields go down, it's more of the same. A lot of just sitting around. So
yeah, you're certainly left wondering that since the Vice Admiral's been put in the brig, this guy is now in command of the entire fleet in theory. But why isn't there a single captain in the other ships? And Sovereigns are extremely high-end ships, as are Defiance. Not one captain in the fleet takes enough personal interest in the situation and say, I'm taking control of the fleet, which they could over the Andorian, and say, I'm the one who's got a bigger crew than you, bigger ship, more experience, way more experience than you. I'm going to lead an expedition to capture it. Or they could always like send shuttles. The fact that no one does anything means every single captain is ineffective in the entire fleet. And that's really sad for Starfleet, because they would all have a plan, you'd think, you know? And especially the Sovereign captains, my goodness. Especially the Enterprise captain. Why is the Enterprise captain not being active? Or whoever captain in Defiant? You know? They should have both in this fight.
Mr. Jericho says Captain Worf should have taken command. Well, Worf wouldn't be there.
Worf's ambassador.
Wouldn't be on the Defiant, nor would he be on the Enterprise.
Nope.
Everybody's like, he's Captain of the Enterprise. They're going to make that canon. It's like, no.
But he's an ambassador.
Yeah.
Exactly. On Kronos. He's having a great time, probably. Getting to drink more and eat more and have fun. Fun? Cleos don't have fun. Yes, you do. Shush yourself.
So, yeah, Zero tries to hotwire the thing to get around it and gain some control back, which they do. And then they can't proto-jump, so they transfer all that energy from the proto-drive into the shields, and then they do some funky maneuvers.
Yes.
Hold on, what is the name of the one episode? The Slippery Dipsy Doodle, which is a jet fighter move, because it goes up, then falls. It's like, that's something you need gravity for, but, you know, you could use your thrusters, I guess, to do that. It's just kind of silly.
Yeah,
a lot of weaving in and out of ships.
And we see RCS thrusters, which we rarely see.
Great.
Although if you look closely on that shot, there's a broken texture. There aren't red brick elements on the hull. Those are meant to be silver. I know, because I've seen the ship. That's a broken texture that isn't applied properly, I guess. Because those aren't meant to be red. And there's loads of red little dots. Those are all meant to be dark silver. So, oops, render error. again. But yeah, now I'm wondering what was the plan here, because the plan seems to be just to be avoid fire. But there's 30 ships all firing. You can't avoid fire for very long, and you're a bloody shitty little protostar. One sovereign is enough to take you out in terms of firepower. Yeah. I mean, let alone 7 sovereigns, 4 defiants, and a defiant should be very close to maneuverability if the officer's good. So I mean, it's a beautiful, amazing sequence, but there is no plan here. It's just avoid fire while being hit the entire time, because you can't avoid fire. Although there's definitely a Star Wars reference with the Millennium Falcon weaving in and out. I mean, you can't get more Millennium Falcon. But certainly scale, I mean, it's tiny. And the amount of phaser fire, it's astounding, the level of, oh no. Yeah, really amazing shots, and they're having fun. The animators, you can tell.
Planet X says, is the Enterprise E the flagship of the Federation here? Oh, we have a video coming out about that. Might have to watch it.
Who knows?
Grant McGregor throws in $5.
Thank you.
The now Emmy-winning show for production design. I'm eager to see what kind of money and high production shot they get. They'll show for the finale. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and hopefully season 2 will be better too. More money being pumped into it, maybe.
Or at least just all the assets already made, so you can use them more free, whatever. And I've got to give credit to the entire Federation fleet. They don't friendly fire once. I was expecting that to be a plot point, because the way they're weaving, you'd think that they would accidentally hit other ships, but there's not a single accidental impact. So good job for freaking fire control. Amazing.
Yeah.
Because this ship weaves. Although no one fires torpedoes except once, and they dodge them. Like, torpedoes are guided. If everyone fired some torpedoes, they would probably catch them, you know?
Yeah. This is also where, like, it's like, we might not be as experienced, but we're fast, so we'll show them. And then, won't the Academy be happy when we join? No, they don't. They won't believe their luck.
Maybe don't tell them in a battle.
Yeah.
And a brief note that. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. Where is it here? God damn it! I thought it was right here. There's a point where he says we've been in worse situations with less practice. When has been a worse situation? This is the worst possible situation you've ever been in or will be in. Wow.
Yeah, if you fought a bigger fleet than this, it's like the 12th fleet from DS9. That's like, we're going to war fleet. It's a miracle, like, there's this many ships that was able to get to. As we said, they're most of the fastest ships around. Yeah, this is. Yeah. I mean, not fighting the one diviner ship is bigger than this. Yeah, that's the biggest lie he's ever told to his crew ever. I wish Gwen had said.
Morale boost.
Like,
yeah, there should have been a look or two, and it's like
he's 1,000,000,000% wrong. Oh, although I will briefly say as well, on this great shot where the ship goes down, for some reason the Sovereign, the pre-Sovereign Sovereign, is firing phasers from an escape pod.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, that's the problem with phaser beams. You can see where they emanate from, and it's firing them from a. Because there is no, even though I can see the phaser strips, to it there are 2 in range they could shoot from. They're shooting from an escape pod.
Yay, fun. Tara throws in $10.
Thank you.
Won't they have to find a way to hit the reset button on this? So much destruction and loss of life. Maybe Chakotay comes from the future and then goes further back to prevent this, or Janeway again. Yeah, I'm thinking time travel's a thing. Either they're going to go back before first contact to Solum, or before Chakotay shows up on Solum, or just like literally a minute before this battle and get Janeway out earlier. Because she was like, don't answer that hail, and then on screen it's like,
I will say I do think there'd be a cop-out if they undo all the death, because they've not quite killed the ships enough to be a true destruction event. But you didn't want to undo Wolf 359 or First Contact. This is as big an event as those. A AI from the future has come back to kill... this is big enough to keep it going. Yes, they've lost thousands of people, but I mean, there are... Every Dominion War battle, they lost thousands of people. Like, I really hope they don't just undo it. It would certainly devalue the season to me.
Michael Burnham and crew from the future want to go back to their own time.
Red Angel suit. They
try to time travel back, and they don't quite hit the mark, and they end up here, and they're like, they solve this problem. That's what's going to happen.
And yes, Control's back, baby. It was very Discovery Season 2.
Yeah.
I was getting slight flashbacks in this battle, just obviously
Yes.
a billion times better done. I mean, holy shit, the difference in quality. And that episode had a bigger budget. Briefly, though, in the chat, guys, let us know, do you want to see this as a hardcore reset for next week? Whether it's time travel, or micro time jump, or something, or Q jumps in, whatever, that undoes this battle's death count. Yes or no in the chat right now. I really want to get a sense of what you guys think.
Yeah. Jess Harvey, though, $10.
Thank you.
There were enough questionable fleet behaviors to stretch suspension of disbelief, but the fleet shots and all those lovely ships were enough for it to be a great episode for me.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty much a good summation.
I mean,
Grant McGregor,
we want a deep
$5.
dive, so we're going to talk about all the stuff.
Yeah. Grant McGregor, $5.
Thank you.
Maybe the fleet knows there are kids on board and don't want to be called accidental child killers, so they're going light. Not a perfect answer.
I mean, yes, I certainly agree the weapons are probably at low power, but with the amount of secondary impacts you could do with weapons, it's best to disable them ASAP, so you would think full phases and just get them down soon.
Yeah. SWTX Chaser throws in $5.
Thank you.
At least the Enterprise is not the only ship in the quadrant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're right on Earth's doorstep, essentially. If you look at the map where this is, it's Draconis something. It's right near
Is it?
Earth. Yeah, it's right in the heart of the Federation, essentially.
So the Federation's pretty big. I assume they'd take longer to warp from Romulan neutral zone to Federation space.
Well, it's fairly close to Earth as far as sectors goes.
That would explain why Sovereigns can get there so quick. Although speaking of get there so quick, there is one brief shot, I don't know if you'd have caught it, one brief sequence, where if you look at the live, they're misrendering the Akira class and they're misrendering transparencies. One of the phaser beams is going through windows, and you can see it through windows, so they must have set some wrong transparency settings. Which I love. Yeah. There's so many render errors in this battle. I love it.
Yeah.
Because normally, like in space animation, you load a model and you kind of like keep it going, and you kind of whereas if it's all animated, the entire pipeline flaws can come and happen. So this space battle is the same as an animation inside, and easy to make mistakes. So I don't know if you can see it, Stuart, but the beam is going through
I did.
Yeah. Oops.
Jess Harvey, $10.
Thank you.
Do we know if these ships are the original models or borrowed from STO or the Eagle Moss library? Impressed by how they look. Have a second super chat for Christmas.
Thank you. Well, they're not Star Trek Online. We know that. And
we have videos coming out about them.
Yes.
Because that's what we do.
A varying degree of yes, no, and yes. And tune in for our videos to see which ones are better, which ones are worse when you actually break them down. But they all look good in motion, so that's good.
Yeah. And Ray Ricks, £10.
Thank you.
Time reset would be very on brand for Janeway. Yes,
Ooh.
it would.
Ah.
Well, some people answered your question. There's a no, yes, maybe. Time reset would be very on brand for Janeway. Yeah. LOL. No, yes. Janeway will go all end game. Yeah. Grant McGregor, $5. I'm on team. Keep this timeline. Darkness can let the light shine brighter. Plus, I think every dreadnought has an ulterior motive to make first contact. Yeah. And you got to think too that maybe if the Enterprise is here, which might be, it could be why it's destroyed and why there's no Enterprise E in Picard season 3.
I mean, not just that, but if they end up doing, if they end up killing all the Sovereigns and not realizing they were the E, they've canonically killed the E. Just by happenstance. And then it's like, Terry Matalas, Picard season 3 says, oh, but I killed the E in episode 4 as a flashback. And we're like, no, we killed them first, Terry. And now it got destroyed twice. It's like David Tennant. The E got re-registered as the E and then got killed again without any changes. And also briefly, Keith says, couldn't the Rogue program just set each ship's self-destruct sequence and lock out the crews would be easier or be quicker? That's the point. They want pain and suffering.
And they want other ships coming in to get infected.
Yeah, although that's the Protostar being there, not the other ships. But the fact is, the Sovereigns and the Defiance could all just fire quantums and kill every single ship in under 5 minutes. Like, literally under 5 minutes. There's enough, one quantum to the bridge, one quantum to roughly where the warp core is, the ship goes up. It would be that easy. And
with no shield, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the fact they're doing phaser beams, and clearly low power, because phaser beams are just causing relatively small explosions, they are causing pain. Because the more people that they hurt and then kill, they get to enjoy the suffering of those that, it wasn't quick. It was that's got to be why it's so elongated.
Yeah, that's one of the things we do point out is no quantums are fired. Yeah. The Defiance and the Sovereigns both have quantums.
A lot of
they would annihilate ships pretty quickly. So
I mean, especially
my joke was that maybe because everything blue turned red, that they fired quantums and we just didn't know it. Because they changed the color of the quantums to red.
That's a good joke. That is a good joke. But it reminds me of, and this is also canon, as silly as it is, in DS9, in the Giant Way the Warrior battle, a single torpedo can take out a Cavort or a Vorture. And yet, this battle. So, had the Defiant just gone by in that logic and just shot torpedoes, they could have destroyed every single ship in a matter of minutes. So, the very nature of the battle speaks to their pain. Because I would assume that whatever the lady's name, the Agonizer or whatever, is just watching the battle, just enjoying the battle. Because this is the entire reason she's here. She's vindicated.
Well, yes, she is. And so this scene on the brig, and I think she was saying, if you knew me at all, you'd let me out of here. She's like, you're wrong, Admiral. I do know you. Back when you commanded Voyager, you lied to the Devore, and I'm like, oh shit, she's against Janeway. And then it quickly turns to, because Janeway defends her actions, saying they were innocent people, and it's like, yeah, it meant a lot to me. And she lowers thing because she was one of the young Bernari refugees. I loved it. I loved the tie into Voyager. But yeah, you think she would have said something to Janeway earlier? But
yeah,
not a big deal.
Yeah, that's my only issue with that, is that it's unmotivated. Really, her change. The only thing you could argue really is that she's talking more about the plan, and therefore she's like, now I believe you. But if she was a crazy admiral, you don't listen to her because she's a crazy admiral. So nothing she does specifically convinces her clearly. But yeah, it's a really beautiful little moment. And just like the Diviner letting Janeway go, it's just kind of because we needed to be somewhere else. It's a bit random. It's a bit, we put ourselves into a situation. But using that sort of canon is gorgeous. And that is a very good Voyager episode. And given that the Protostar was launched to help apologize for what Voyager did in the Delta Quadrant, go back and help people. The fact that we're seeing somebody who did help is really nice and rewarding. And also, not just that, but they would end up in the Alpha Quadrant or Beta Quadrant, chose to join Starfleet, made a difference, got on a very high-end ship, the Dauntless. So it's very, very sweet. So I give them all credit for it. It's a lovely little, lovely moment.
Grant McGregor, $2. Oops, all Tricobalt devices. Zango76 says, small talk slowed Janeway down. Yes, you could say that, but she hands her comm badge.
Yeah.
Why doesn't she just immediately talk to her first officer and say, do not answer any hails from that ship?
I know you think I'm crazy, but just don't do it.
Yeah, I'm on my way to the bridge. I'm not crazy. Just trust me. Because that'll at least give them a heads up instead of waiting till the turbolift doors open. Don't answer that hit. Shit.
Or why couldn't she order the computer to sight beam her like they did her earlier?
Yeah. It's the other episode. Let's beam me to the bridge.
I mean, maybe you need a real person to beam you. But they could do that. And time is absolutely of the essence.
Yes.
So maybe do that, Janeway. So it's slightly her fault as well.
Yeah. Then we get some really cool dodging, like flying maneuvers, and
beautiful.
Great. And the Defiant chasing it, and then it the Protostar ducks down. I expected to see the Defiant go right after it because they're just as maneuverable. But
yeah, I have 3 notes on this bit. 1, did you notice the Akira's firing TOS phaser blast sound effects?
Yeah, I did notice that. So do the Centaurs.
No. SFX team, no. Bad team. 2, the Defiant fires its pulse phases one at a time, which it doesn't really do. Like we never really got a dum 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 dum, and not with the right sound effect either.
Good once.
But not the 4 in a row. It was like 2. It wasn't the full like classic.
I think it's later. There's a good one. Yeah, from at the top though.
But it wasn't the right sound effect. Guys,
no, it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't.
You own all of the sound effects, all of them. That's such an iconic. But I was absolutely shocked the Defiance got so little attention, given how they should match, like I say, the Protostar almost entirely in terms of movability, and not just that, but Protostar has been piloted by probably Zero, who doesn't know how to fly the ship very much. Trained Defiant pilot on the Defiant, who's still there defending the wormhole, will absolutely outstretch the pilot of the Protostar. That said, the rendering of the Defiant is effing gorgeous. That shit is on fire, how good it looks. I wish we saw any more of it.
And it will be on fire later.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Mino Other says this battle would be a reason for the few ships left in Picard Season 1, both pre- and post-Mars attack.
I mean, there's hundreds of ships, so losing 20 isn't going to make any difference to those battles.
Yeah. And Ozzy, well, we don't know how far this goes. It could lose a lot more in the next episode.
I don't think the Kid Joke is going to kill like hundreds of ships, Joe. That'd be pretty... Or it just kills all the Akiras, all the Defiants, all the Sovereigns. It's like, wow. It's all we could find, but we killed those 4. Oof.
Ozzy Medeiros, $5. Rest in peace, Defiant. Isn't going to buzz Deep Space Station.
I mean, it'll probably survive.
But what the construct should do is go to warp or proto-jump to Earth, infect Earth's space dock, and have that start firing on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine?
I can.
And all the orbital defense platforms like turn towards Earth and just...
One massacre at a time, Stuart.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I don't understand this necessarily. Despite them running for their lives with low shields, Gwen decides to leave the bridge and grab a phaser rifle.
Well, because they say their shields are critical, they're going to board us, and she's like, I'm going to do what I need to do. Give us a fighting chance. So she's getting a weapons ready to take out anybody that boards.
But why would she do that? They want to be boarded so they can disable the weapon. Why would they fight Starfleet?
I don't know.
Like
that's the reasoning behind it.
You literally want them to help you because these aren't construct people. These are like good guys. You're the bad guy in the situation, guys.
Yeah.
And you also have to control the Protostar.
Yeah.
Why? You're going to shoot... If you shoot Starfleet, you're probably not going to the Academy.
This is Jericho. That's why I said the orbital defense platforms.
Yes. And given there's going to be like, what, 7,000, 8,000 officers in this fleet... I mean, they should be beaming 10 officers each, honestly. You can't defend against 30 people beaming onto the bridge with all the phaser rifles. Soz.
Yeah.
I don't really get why... Especially as these 2 people in theory command the ship. Zero's just doing this. It's like, well...
Hold on. Because when they're talking here, Adele says we can still talk to them. And she says, my father won't try to talk. So I think she's anticipating her father beaming aboard from the Dauntless or something, because her answer there and the way she went down, she's assuming that they're going to try to board the ship and take over the Protostar.
That's a hell of a leap of logic.
The Twitter line says...
Oh, that's a very bad leap of logic. Oof.
Yeah.
Did Janeway and Dulsbot even say the Diviner was on their ship?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess... whatever his name is could have said it, but we saw the entire scenario. There wasn't much time to say.
Well, she already knows that he's on board, though, because Ensign Essentia told her, your father's on her ship.
Okay. Yeah. That was like 2 weeks ago, though, in fairness.
It was, yeah.
But still, assuming he would somehow beam aboard with an entire fleet of Federation starships is daft.
No, I think they're just meaning that he was going to beam aboard to try and take it over, and they probably don't know about the Dreadnought or Essentia, but
how do you expect to take over the ship when there's a fleet of Federation starships right there who are going to beam officers as well?
Ray Ricks throws in £5. Belle knows the Diviner is there. She says he won't stop.
But he also knows that he let her go, her being him, and doesn't know... Like, he's still one guy who the Void defeated once. Doesn't know about Dreadnought, doesn't know about the other friend. you wouldn't suddenly think, yes, if the Diviner beams aboard, he'll be powerful enough to take us all out when we beat him last time. With a fleet of ships around us, any of which could beam officers. Giant leap in logic. Doesn't follow.
Then the whole, if anything happens, I want you to hear this from me. And Dell like, my time. I'm going to kiss her. What was that? Oh, I thought we had a moment. I thought you felt the same. Then she's like, Starfleet won't allow augments. Anyway.
Now, did you see this moment coming, Stuart?
The kiss?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I knew I didn't think that's what she wanted to talk to me about, but I knew this was going to happen at some point.
Well. Yeah, I was totally blindsided by the kiss. I was like, oh. Okay. I was as surprised as Gwen was, which is great. Because it'd been vaguely talked about the first chunk of the season, but entirely ignored for the rest. But yeah, I thought, what a balls out move. But I mean, hey, if you think you're going to get killed or in prison or whatever, which is 90% chance what's going to happen, shoot your shot and then ruin his heart.
Yeah. Grant McGregor, $5.
Thank you.
Wait, there are several different sizes of boom boom sticks. How powerful is the 2 boom boom sticks on the left?
Really powerful.
Yeah. I think they tie into the game. There's like a phaser cannon. That's one of Dow's weapons in that. And later too, I mean, because the game, I got clarification from Aaron, the game actually takes place between episodes 10 and 11.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we knew that. They said that when it came out.
But in that game, she's got her sword, her fret sword, then she also gets a fret spear, and she also gets like fret gauntlets, which are the most powerful one. And later, Essentia like uses the 2 blades, like the Andorian blades. I was hoping that Gwen would turn her fret into like the, even if they don't explain it, people who play the game would like that tie-in. But yeah, so could be one of those phaser cannons they're talking about in the game.
But then, yeah, you have issue. Stuart, the Dauntless. So the next shot is when the Pro Star gets hit by phaser.
It's already got the red deflector.
Already got red. Oh dear, guys. It's already evil. Because look, it's shooting not at the it's shooting clearly at a ship off screen. Oh dear, guys, you got the wrong scene file. Oops. But anyway, the Pro Star for some reason now doesn't move. It lets itself be hit. And shields are down, and conveniently shields and weapons and warp. No, shields, impulse and warp. Not sure why impulse would go down while being hit on the top, shields, because these things are sort of not fully interconnected. Because if they were, everyone would die all the time. So I'm not sure why they're going down, but okay. And also, for some reason, the whole fleet is now back around them, even though they're zooming through them. But whatever. Weird.
Eric Martin, $5. I find it interesting that the Diviner had to be driven partially insane in order to become a decent person. It says something about the race, that race of his. But he was also one of the guys that was on Starfleet's side initially, which I think made this turn back to helping them a little bit easier to stomach. But the fact he went insane, forgot everything, got helped by Starfleet, slowly got his memories back, realized that Starfleet and Janeway were very kind to him and did help him, changed his perspective again to swing it back to the whole, I'm kind of on Starfleet's side. It's, yeah.
Although kind of skipping to the end, but he didn't help them at the end. Oh, Stuart. Oh no, Stuart. Oh no. Where did you go? Okay, what's Stuart saying? Yeah, it's very quality too. Sorry I'm late. Welcome, Metallica fan. We're just talking about the small plot holes, but also how great the episode is. It's fantastic. And I'll read the poll results. 83 votes. I asked, what do you think of the episode? 53% loved it. 45% thought it was great. Only 2% did not like it. Which is a really great ratio. So, good job, episode. Let me just take a picture of that because that's pretty great. Let me do a new poll. Let me do another poll. Is this? Well, goodbye, Stuart. The best cliffhanger. 2022. Hopefully, Stuart will... Yeah, the weapons affected the stream. Yes. Yes! So the new poll is this the best cliffhanger of 2022 Trek? A bold question, I know. I mean, pretty legendary. I know Stuart's got a lot of snow. I wonder if the snow's killed Stuart's internet. The fine fellow that he is. He says maybe something... Oh, okay. Power went out. Oh no. Oops. But yes, guys, keep super chatting. We are almost at a minimum, which is really lovely to hear. This is right at Christmas. As you know, you guys can imagine, every dollar helps us right now. So yeah, I've put a few fives. Do make all of the difference. Absolutely. We've had a not so good month this month because of Prodigy. Just a few episodes not being quite as engaging. Comes and goes. So yeah, you guys are doing fantastic. Keep that up. And we're excited to keep talking. It's been a really good episode. And yeah, there he is. Oh, gosh, I just get a... Power cut, you say?
Yeah, we're having a massive blizzard. There's really extremely high winds out there, so likely will happen again. I'm going to be honest with you.
So you're saying the world killed your internet?
No, I'm not.
I mean your power. So the world killed your power.
Just Canada, not the world.
Canada.
All right. Doing the best I can. Getting back up. So.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, I just did a new poll, Stuart. The new poll is this the best cliffhanger of 2022's Trek? Your instant reaction, Stuart. Yes or no?
Yes.
I would agree.
Ray Ricks, 5 pounds. I think the energy Gwen absorbed from the Diviner will have something to do with how they can conclude this. I don't think she absorbed any energy. His body just lifted up. I didn't get a sense that she absorbed any of it, honestly.
I think that's debatable. I think they could retcon that.
Oh, it's for sure debatable. I just didn't get that sense. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get the sense that when she activated a mental blue face, like she's maybe gained part of his consciousness, like a tiny little remnant survived, but not like an actor like I am more powerful. And briefly we would talk about the Diviner helping. He didn't actually help Starfleet at any point except to rescue Janeway for 1 second, because in the final battle he tries to save his daughter. He doesn't try and stop the Protostar doing its thing. He was fully committed to that. He just didn't want to kill his daughter. So there was no turn to the light side. He was still doing his thing. And in fact, if the lady had not tried to kill Gwen and just knock her out, I'm sure he would have been fine with that. It's just he clearly was trying to kill her. So she just went a bit full on there. Anyway, so they get to the... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, your dad is also in Prodigy. He is the transporter chief.
I know, I thought that too. Yes, Stevens is back. No, but yes, this terrible looking redress of the Dauntless one, of the Protostar one, with the stupidly giant console compared to the scale of the person. Because this was scaled for the lower decks for the Prodigy kids, so they clearly just put people in here, but it wasn't scaled for them. So I mean, it looks like an absolute joke. If all the sets were this bad looking, I would be like, oh, kids show. And why would she not just wait until after they... Why doesn't she stun them when she walks in? I don't know why she does the thing she does here.
I don't know either.
God, look how giant this transporter is. The fact they can literally lie flat on the pad in between the pads. I mean, it's an obscene and stupid room.
Yeah.
And yes, my dad tries to fire a phaser and then gets karate chopped. It's really comical. I love it.
Yeah. And then nobody will stop us. We'll take them all out or whatever, except my progeny. She's one of us. Of course, yes. Yeah.
Yes, do not kill anybody, especially my daughter. Yes, I won't kill your daughter. Don't kill her. Murder. Yes. And again, I'm left wondering, Stuart, why are they the only people trying to be on board? And why...
Yeah.
Why would Starfleet, Angelico, and the Andorian guy think to send 3 people... Ensign, Usensi or whatever, the Trill navigation officer, random Vulcan man, and random security. That's the entire team they're going to send on the Dauntless and the Protostar. They now know there's a weapon. 3 people. At least in a full security team, 2 a command, and one's a bloody pilot. What a stupid, nonsensical team.
Well, they'd send in TNG. They'd send Riker, Data, and probably the Forge. So, but that we know who they are.
It's just a really stupid little scene of like, why are we? Like, there should be dozens of people being aboard. It really pisses me off when it's like it doesn't make sense. Like, it's fine if the Andorian had one line saying, "Fleet, leave the Dauntless to us, leave the Protostar to us." Like a line like that, but every ship would be trying to do a plan. They would all see the shields down. They'd all start being people aboard. Like a lot of them would. The ones with real initiative would do that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of nonsensical, but
Yep.
Anyway, new life forms on board. All hands on deck. There's Gwen. Seal the doors. Don't let anybody in. That next scene, you see the bridge. The doors are just opening. It's like, okay.
Didn't even catch that line, yeah. And they fire phasers, and then Dreadnought goes full war mode. And he, bit stronger feeling than the last time we saw him, when he got beaten by some malnourished people.
This was very reminiscent of the game as well, where he fights here. So,
ooh, it's exciting.
Casual Trekker, $10.
Thank you.
Could the all-red aspect be something that's programmed into the ship so the construct can tell which ship it controls? Because it's only Federation ships that are affected?
No.
No.
It's a program. It knows who's it's infected.
Yeah, warp coils don't go blue. Sorry.
Don't go
Deflector
red.
might be able to. I mean, go red, yeah.
Yeah.
Silly.
And Dan says, yeah, in Voyager, with the Prometheus, only 2 officers beamed in. That is true. That was dumb as well. But they also beamed in instantly when the shields went down. They didn't wait for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is quite a good fight. The intro, it's definitely like, where was this guy when fighting the people in Tars Lamora? And why isn't Dahl firing?
Gotta think, this is a
less old. He's not newer.
Yeah,
he's just...
it's a less old, yeah. Because Dreadnought with the Diviner had been around for 20, 50 years, however long it was. So might be more worn down. I don't know.
And he'd be trying to retire for a few years. He'd had his babies. He found some property in Tars Lamor Du. It's the moon. He was gonna settle down, and then all of a sudden this stuff happened. Wasn't a good time for him. And yes, then the Diviner and Thingy just walk on the bridge, no issue at all. I'm assuming they both had access codes to unlock it, especially the Diviner. So I don't see that as being a problem. But certainly, it's very easy. Yeah. And she takes away Janeway like, not even a thing.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, yes. And starts monologuing slightly. And still, Federation ships are not doing anything. Despite... I'll tell us in a minute. But yes, guys, we are now... Oh, only $18 for our minimum. Fantastic. We really, really need our minimum. That's why it's a minimum. Keep voting. We would... yeah, strong groovers. We'd love to hit more than that. Really help our Christmas. And excited for next week's review on the 30th. So just for the New Year's as well. That'll be exciting. God, I can't wait for next week. It's going to be very, very exciting. Or letdown. One or the other. So yeah, currently the poll, 48 votes. Guys, 77 people watching, 57 likes. Is that it? So vote in the poll. I want to see 55 votes. Only 57 likes. I want to see 65 likes right now. 7 of you go like. 65. Come on, let's see a like spike right now. 58. I want to see 65.
Do it.
Easy. Easy, Stuart. Easy. 7 more likes. It's a free button.
And Stephen W. Fathry
Steven!
from Text Trek with $10.
Good to see you.
Merry Christmas to two of the best content creators in the Trek community. Oh, thank you. It was a huge year for the franchise. Thanks for all the great coverage. Looking forward to another big year for Trek in 2023. Yes, thank you to Tex Trek and Starfleet Boy and all the guys that participate in that
Yeah.
for all their coverage as well. You guys did good
Invite
work.
us on more.
Yeah, or once would be good.
Well, no, we did 2. Haven't we? Yeah. So with Starfleet Boy, he helped me with a thing. That was good. And yes, we got 65 likes. I was just saying this monologue, and again, no one beams aboard, especially as they've now detected 2 life forms. So each ship is going to be saying, Captain Enterprise E, 2 life forms have been aboard the Protostar. What sort of life forms? Both alien of unknown origin. So not the security team then. Nope. Should we beam people aboard the Protostar?
Nah, let's see how this plays out.
Let's see how this plays out.
Just gonna sit down, cross my legs.
Waiting is a good plan. Like, as soon as they beam aboard, it should be massive red alert across all the ships. Like, even Joseph Essentia being still, if she was recognised human, he's not. So there's not, you know, or even if she just says, computer, reinitiate shields, authorization, Valna cut, kill squad 6. You know, like, do something active. Because each ship is monitoring this thing like an absolute boss. They would not be passive here.
Yeah. Agreed. Have you talked about the holo emitters yet? Or turning them off?
Yeah, just done. But then, I would say a rather good fight with Dreadnought. I think it's their best fight so far, personally.
Actually,
Ooh.
There is a line here. Years we have waited for this. Years they will suffer. So I think making them suffer is kind of the point too. So,
which I like. Viciousness. Yeah, it's good.
Ozymandias $2. No General Grievous was doing his maneuver.
Didn't really spinning though. But no, I think it's a really good fight, and he feels like James Bond. Every single person has a new gadget. I think that's really cool. As you said, he probably just ran out the other guy because see him at full power, not even a comparison. But why doesn't he kill them all? There's even a line where he says,
exactly,
you know, you are terminated, and doesn't kill him. It's like just stab them. You've got big sharp. You've got a giant laser beam. You know, I mean, stab them, murder them.
A gravity grenade thing. He's got the thing that attaches to Zero's suit and it immobilizes it.
It's great. I love it. It's just kill them.
Yeah.
There's no reason, you know.
But everybody in the comments now is going to say, but it's a kids show. You can't kill the main cast.
Well, don't put them in a life or death situation. No,
just kill everybody else around them that you don't see, because you don't see it. It didn't happen.
Like, just write one line in. You know, have the lady say, Dreadnought, keep them alive in case we need them. Yes, mistress. Yep. Done.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Plot hole resolved.
And then the whole get off my ship.
Now that to me felt like a riff on the alien scene. Get off her, you bitch! So that's the vibe I got. The way she performed that.
I love a Sentry too, or the Vindicator. Sorry, he knows nothing will stop me from saving Solon from First Contact. So in time, I'm sure he'll forgive me for killing him. Essentially, yeah.
I mean, there is bigger things than killing your own sort of clone daughter. And again, really well choreographed fight. For animation, really good job. I have no complaints. Beautifully shot, good action, good dialogue. It's very kinetic. It's cool to see the morphing work. No, it's great. I loved it. Yes, and then Security Chief Murph, report for duty.
Oh,
I know Kung Fu is his line.
This is kind of hilarious. This is for the kids for sure. Let's keep cutting between the two fights.
Yeah.
And Gwen gets a hit on Vindicator, gives her a nice scar, which is gonna, be a reminder.
Yep. Yeah, it was very it's like Anakin's scar in yeah.
It's like everybody's scar.
Yep.
And everything.
It's the now I need more revenge scar. Oh boy.
It's always hooking me. It never hits the eye.
There we go. I was gonna say.
Yeah. Well, never. You do see the odd person that has the eye out because of it. But. Eric Martin, $5.
Thank you.
Have a non-Starfleet ship warp in and jam communications. It appears the construct requires live comms.
I would say that would work for 5 seconds, then it would adjust. It's from like 2450. This thing is easily going to outstretch other tech in terms of that. Because they'd think of that, wouldn't they? If you just block it, it's useless. But I would like to see that for like 5 seconds, then it's something like shift and adapt. That would be cool, but it's too powerful for that, I'd say.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people... Oh, sorry. Sergeant Montgomery says, how did her disguise fool Starfleet entrance exam? Was there other Essentia that already went through a few years of school beforehand? Probably.
Well, because she's only been there 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't just happen to walk in from the past, say, I'm going to kill all Starfleet! I'll join Starfleet first. That wouldn't be your first act, would it? Unless that... And it wasn't the plan. So she presumably found a ship, killed the person, took their life. So yeah, it wasn't a fresh person, I think, clearly.
Yeah. And SPS Guru 2005 euros. The characters don't know that, though.
Oh, don't know which.
I don't know.
Tell us, reconfirm what we're saying. Yeah. And Stuart, we've now hit past our minimum.
I know.
It's lovely.
I've been watching.
Lovely, lovely. Keep
Yeah,
going.
so super chats coming. They're really helpful.
Yeah. Help you on Christmas to no end.
This Murph thing though, where he gets frozen against the wall, a lot of people are like, Murph can't be frozen. He's surviving the vacuum of space and all that. I'm like, yes, true, but being frozen to a wall encased in ice is different than. It's not like it's not like that's a weakness that cold will like mess with the gelatinous body or whatever. So I have no problem with that.
Oh, I didn't think it for a second. I mean, especially it's probably not water. It's probably some special gas that freezes.
Yep.
Because it would need to be in Dreadnought's body, and it's just freezing, causing a layer of hyper-frozen material, which would kill most people, but they leave Murph alive. And it's just keeping him attached. Because that's not that useful against people, let's be honest. Against things like robots and ships and tech, so it just happens to work against Murph.
I think it's incredibly lucky the throw and the pin to the wall of Dal, because that could easily have killed him.
Well, I mean, robot, perfect throw.
Could be.
I mean, I mean, yes, but also, if you wanted to kill him, it wouldn't be a thing with the perfect neck hole.
Yeah.
So obviously it was a not kill shot. It's cool though. I mean, I love this fight. It's very entertaining. Because like one Dreadnought can win. Like phaser resistant, lots of gadgets. Just it wins. It's easy. Yeah. It's easy. It should be.
SVS Guru 2000, 10 euros. Ooh. They don't know the construct needs live comms. Yes. As far as they know, the ships are just infected now. Mm-hmm. The audience only knows that because it cuts to the construct controlling specific ships. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
And like I said, if it warped in, tried to block, and then reset, would be good. Yeah.
We get the
Anthony asks, does the construct need virus need the protostar to continue spreading its destruction, or does it now live in the ships that it's affected?
We're not sure. That's the thing. If they destroy the protostar with the construct on board, that could annihilate it, because it seems to be controlling them. But my thinking is it might have infected the other systems and kind of moved parts of itself to those, so it might stay alive. I don't know.
If it was able to live in other ships, it would just be controlled from Discovery, which is already a 32nd century tech.
Discovery?
Yeah, control and Discovery. Like, it would be the same equivalent of power. So my assumption is that and we assumed that the relay station from episode 11 would be enough to power it through the systems. That never happened. So clearly it can't send on subspace. It's a short-range device.
Yeah.
But it can make a distress call be not a help, we're dying of a construct, but rather help.
Starfleet ships need assistance.
Exactly. So there's still a huge limit. Like, you just don't rescue them. But then if you can't get close, that said, there's still, if a new ship 10 light years away that doesn't have its comms on would still be fine. There's still a limit to the power.
Yeah.
But the idea is that you kill all the survivors so that you just start it again. Because they didn't know there's going to be kids taking over. It was meant to be them in control. They're meant to warp in to Earth, be hailed, hail back. Everyone on Earth gets killed. They go to the next station, hail, kill. So this is not the plan. But either way, they're killing lots of people. So I do think it's a limited range situation. But I mean, every bit of damage is enough. Yeah, survivors is not what you meant to leave for us to work.
Eric Martin throws in $50. Thanks so much, Eric. Says, Merry Christmas, guys. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
I'll stop trying to fix things and go back to my spreadsheets.
We like your ideas.
Keep trying to fix things. We like them. Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff we didn't think of because we've already had these big discussions, but not everything because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. And then we got a cool, you dare stand in the way of the Vanakat. And she's got like new weapons and a cool look. And
that's a good look.
Yeah, defeats Gwen, essentially.
I mean, she should.
Yeah.
And the Diviner just gets up. Because it's good. It's all good. And
then it's time for an ad.
Oh.
All right.
Now, personally, I would just have stabbed Gwen rather than saying help instead. Because he's an old man. You can win against him too. I know you're a bit tired now from fighting Gwen, but don't bother. Like, you were literally blade to the face. The fact they turned was a bit of a weird edit. Like, you stab Gwen, she dies, he's going to get angry, you stab him, you win. Like, there's a weird framing to make this moment. And yes, he does not activate the bomb. Instead, he uses the Force!
Before I had a daughter, this was mine, and he whips it out.
Which I had forgotten, I'll be honest.
And yeah, the fact that she catches it, come on now. Really?
Well, she has powers over them too, so... Because she's also more powerful than he is, because he's old, so I'm sure she just managed to override and just grab it. I mean, it's fine.
And you notice when she threw it at him, you see the reaction of it hitting him, but you never see it hit him. Kids show, don't see it actually going into him.
We can cold-blooded murder, but we can't show the wound.
Yeah, exactly.
We can imply and show that thousands of officers are dying, but we'll never see any bodies floating through space. Yes. But yeah, he gets stabbed, and I'll be honest, I did not consider he was going to die. He's already not died several times, and I was like, I'll be fine. Wasn't fine.
No. But then she just sits in the chair and says, computer, open communications, or open a channel, broadcast on all Federation frequencies.
And the Dauntless crew not doing jack shit, just relaxing, sitting down, no full momentum of the story. They're like, oh, being hailed. Cool. I guess our security team got aboard that we weren't following, that we didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just in time to, no, don't answer that. Him.
I could have called, but I didn't. I could have beamed, but I didn't.
I wanted it to be dramatic. Oh shit! Shouldn't have done that.
And then the monologue. Oh no, the monologue's after. But yes, the thing bursts, Stuart. And I guess one comm access equals all comm access.
Well, you think the other ships would be tuned in, listening to what's going on. Yeah.
I mean, they're not very active in the story normally, so I would not assume that, I'll be honest.
And that visual of the... makes it seem like it's not communications that did it. Well, whatever.
Yeah. A wave is not a is not a bomb through data. That's a wave. But it's a cool effect, and it's good to see scale, and to see custom hero shots of each ships getting redded. But this is an instant. So as soon as they get hit, the warp grills go red. So because you could argue that maybe they're remodulating them to cause a new plasma field. This thing takes 1 second, so nothing's happening to change a state. They're just changing colour. So I think we can ostensibly take this as not canon. This is not really happening. This is just a visual for the kids. I'm not going to take this as canon, because you can't make warp grills turn red for no reason in 1 second. You just can't. There's nothing that would do that. Now, I like what you said originally. It's meant to say that all the windows, all the rooms are now red alert. That's what you're seeing. That's great.
Yeah,
that would happen.
Every time we see the Dauntless Bridge after that, it's all bathed in red. So
that, I think, is fantastic. But the fact the warp grills go red, and the impulse engines, and the deflectors is dumb, stupid, and I will ignore that in any... That didn't happen in my lore, because it doesn't make sense, and I don't think they could work out a reason either.
Yeah.
But weirdly, they still have control of the ship though, because they're able to comm people. Like, what access does this station have? Because they still able to talk to
Well,
people.
it's like all the systems are slowly going offline. It's not instant. What it seems like.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's no.
because her first order is to shut down communications and weapons, and it's like we can't, and our shields are down.
But it's like, yeah, can I turn the warp core off? But the construct you would think would turn off the air and the gravity.
And if you later when they turn off the universal translators to prevent people from communicating with each other, great idea. But also turn off all the lights in the ship. Just make it dark. Nobody can see anything. That would help the situation for you.
And like I say, if you're turn off internal comm translation, why you let them comm other ships in the fleet?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a bad plan because they might be able to work out a plan as they did. So it's an unknown level of weapon that does unknown levels of things except pew. Because, yeah, the fleet goes red and we get dramatic moment. It's a very strong moment as a sovereign gets fireballed. And a great, really, really good montage of just imminent death. And it's horrible. And the Defiant fires 4 photon launchers.
Yeah, and
Which doesn't have.
That first Sovereign that gets hit is the USS Sovereign.
Yeah.
Even though it warps in later. We have a video coming out. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a very, very good set of shots, and the music's fantastic, and the pace is fantastic, and yeah, stuff gets real pewed.
Yeah, and then we get the kids escape, and I love how see the Rock saying, "Give me your mitt." First of all, why does he transform it? He knows what she's doing, I guess. Why not just knock out the thing that's right in front of you on the ground to get up? Yeah, aiming at Murph was a good idea, but it's really a weird sequence because you aim that at Murph. Murph goes to take care of Zero. Zero takes care of Dal. Dal throws the thing right at Jankum's head. The thing's right in front of Jankum. He whips this weapon right at Jankum's head, and it just luckily doesn't keep going straight and kill him. It like bounces away. It was weird. It was weird, but a good escape plan. Look at us working as a team.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was very organic actually. Each person helped another person. I thought it was very clever.
It was for sure, but I probably would have taken care of the thing right in front of me on the ground first before I got Murph.
But you would assume the bomb is fire resistant, otherwise what a shitty bomb. I mean, it's a future bomb made by a future robot who's resistant to phaser fire. You think a bit of heat could kill it? Also, the bomb was that close to them. Like, that fire is going to be heating them. It's way smarter to get Murph out to solve every other problem.
Okay, fine.
Yes. But yeah, cut to the bridge. Ships are getting very slowly attacked.
Yeah. Too slow for my liking, but whatever.
Yeah. But like we said, it's pain, not, whatever. And Gwen, no longer doing the mission, is entirely focused on the father, which is a character moment as well.
And that wasn't done too long. Dal comes in, looks, and addresses the Vindicator. He doesn't take too long of a break.
No.
So like,
yeah,
I appreciated that because a lot of times in shows like this, there's too much of a break or then there's other shit going on. So that was actually well done.
Well, the pace I think from now until the end is very good.
He's like, "You're gonna pay for this," and she's like, "Oh, well, maybe, but not today." And then Dreadnought transforms into like a mini escape pod.
Yeah,
smashes through the glass. Which I love this visual of like the force field, and then it actually fixes itself. Probably replicator technology.
Yeah, it's a very high tech scene. Because boy, this robot man, he can form a transforming laser, but also reconfigure himself to fit a person.
Yeah. Well, Alyssa Jericho,
Amazing.
I thought the same thing. I thought she was making a mech suit for herself.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
wouldn't that be a much easier solution? Also, why doesn't Dreadnought just shoot them all? Like, why leave? Why lose the Protostar? Because he's oblivious to phaser fire. They're still the same kids he defeated 5 minutes ago. All he has to do is turn to make the lady behind him activate spider arms, throw more bombs, kill them. I don't know why she leaves. Her job is not done because she's killed one fleet, but there are more fleets. And I don't think that ship was warp capable. Dreadnought is not warp capable, so she is now alone in deep space in a little pod with limited air and no food. Where's the plan here?
Well, there's a planet nearby in some shots.
In some shots there is, yes. But it is a cool shot, and it's definitely very, very high-tech how it regrows. But that explains why they're able to do such a stupid-looking giant window. It's not a window, it's an organic crystalline material or some such that's specially designed for this purpose. I like that. It's very specialist.
Me too. And then this part's great. When the diviner dies, he says, it wasn't supposed to be like this. I tried to save your world, or our world, your world, because anyway, I wanted you to see it. She says, I can, Father, and I will. Maybe you can unify them, do what I never could. She says, I don't know where Solemn is, and I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Says, there's no barrier you cannot overcome. You are my daughter, my spirit's song, my Gwendolyn. And he dies.
My Gwendolyn.
So he's telling her to, essentially, it sounds like, go back in time or forward in time, whenever this happens.
Both.
And try to unify them, unify both parts of the planet so that this never happened in the first place. So
yeah, it's a very speech that is plot speech. It's a weird ending speech, except unless it means things, like you say, and her calling out Solemn is well, you would think he would tell her where Solemn was, years ago in school, in space, while he was in his gelatinous goo. He could be like, Dreadnought, tell her about Solemn. Yes, master. And there's yes, but it's a good little scene. I don't know if I believe he's dead or not, like actually, as in forever dead, because he's the most famous person on the cast, arguably more famous than Janeway in terms of like what he's done. And he's been super underused the last 10 episodes. He was in a coma for like 2 of them, so I think as an actor he's been very underused. I hope he's coming back because he's an interesting character. I mean, did he ascend to a higher plane of existence? Did he disintegrate into her body? I mean, or is this? And I'd like to think this is what happened. I think because he's a time echo, because his future never happened, so that's him de-existing from the timeline.
Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah,
because his future does not exist anymore. So he's not say that Admiral Janeway didn't go up in a puff of smoke in Endgame, but he's also a weird alien life form. So time remnant.
Amino Other says, or Gwen shows up on the ship of first contact to her world. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, but that's in like a few years, already in the Delta Quadrant, so she'll have to jump all the way there. And also, that feature might not happen because all the ships are now doing, if they just lost 20 ships, no other fleets are going to be the same thing, doing the same thing.
But no Prometheuses are lost.
That's true.
Yet.
Hey, what are these Prometheuses? They had one in the other episode.
I know. Right. I know.
A lovely upside down Prometheus firing.
And Ash Lemon, yes, we did notice the Sovereigns had 1701 written on them. There's a video coming out about that. Yes, tomorrow's video. Check it out.
Yes. Right, back 1 second.
Yeah. So yeah, I like the time echo thing, like he never existed. That's why he dissolves like that. Her face does light up like the other one he caught, so I can understand why people think that, she absorbed his essence or whatever. I didn't get that sense during this scene, but yeah. Hit like, guys. We have 84 people watching and 73 likes. I'd like to get to 100 likes, so if you haven't hit like yet, give that like button a hit. Keep the super chats coming, and yeah, let's we're almost done here, so we want to hear your thoughts on this episode for sure. I was going to say something, but I kind of lost it. Yeah, I think my personal belief is that the next episode is going to involve time travel of some sort to either go back to have this never have happened, or just before this happens, this incident, to prevent the communication from the hail from being accepted. Could be all season 2 plot, the first contact. It could be, yeah. Olivia throws in $2. Sam, Sam, Sam. Hashtag Sam. You didn't
Hello.
hear any of that because you didn't have his earbuds in.
Good, as it should be. So yeah, Divina's dead. And now this is when the pace is okay for them to be slow and not really care about the battle, because the battle's happening. It's not a battle; it's a massacre. Like no one's moving, so this works pacing wise. And I love Janeway. Did we solve it? Did we...
Oh shit!
That's not good. That's not so good.
And their status is hull stabilized, shields returning. We're banged up, but then you start speaking Tellarite.
Yes. Lovely mini twist. Lovely mini twist. Especially with the... Yeah.
And I thought the whole time, Gwendala can speak their languages, is not too concerned about this. So glad they remembered that.
Yeah, it's not a huge, like, problem, but thematically it's a nice moment that the construct is doing. Obvious thing. I love the idea of, Janeway's calling the final call you ever do for a ship. That's the last thing. Only happened on Voyager like 3 times.
Yeah.
And the great pause of... And it was like, we can't understand you. Which is great, because there's a Vulcan on the bridge, not speaking English. Android, not speaking English. There's a Orion, I think still... You know, and as we said in our review, no one's speaking English. No one has bothered learning everyone else's languages. It's 100% universal translator, which I like. There's a nice organicness to that. Because,
Later the Doctor says, look. So I don't know if he knows Earth's standard or if the Dauntless's translator got fixed as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, Gwen knows languages. Lovely. Really rewarding. And I do like the fact that we now know Dahl's actually human. So it makes sense he would know English because he's human. He's just DNA modified human. So that was a nice, like, logical leap. But again, why would the construct let Janeway call the Protostar?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why.
No. Construct's busy having fun just shooting at other ships. Paying attention to what's going on. That's my rationale for it. But yeah, I love that they both speak standard. Every Starfleet ship. How many allies are nearby? Without Starfleet signatures. I love her explanation here, though. We don't want any more unnecessary casualties. But if they don't have a Starfleet signature, they won't be affected. Just hard to convince them at the best of times, let alone when we can't communicate. But you got to think. Hold on, this makes no sense to me. If they hail a Klingon ship, which again the construct shouldn't allow them to do, hail a Klingon ship. When the Klingon ship answers it, the Klingon ship's universal translators would automatically translate it anyway. So she doesn't need to speak Klingon. You don't need to send it via universal translator. It's how it's received. So that makes no sense that she has to do this anyway. You know what I mean? SVS Guru 2000, €5. I thought that Dal knows English because Gwen taught him as her personal pet. Oh, yeah. That's right. She taught him languages when they were, like, kids.
Well, the Ferengi would presumably teach Dal basic because it's most useful.
Yeah, and that's who he grew up with.
Exactly. So, or otherwise he's speaking Ferengi the whole time until learning English with Gwen. But Gwen doesn't know Ferengi necessarily. I don't know. That's possible.
Yeah. But anyway, we have one Starfleet translator left, which again, this doesn't make much sense. But so they open a distress call to any ships in range, and we get Miss Klingon lady. Just asking for aid from or from anybody that can help. And this line is really weird. Your transports, your freights, your shields. How hard is it to say freighters?
Very.
It was just a weird thing. Starfleet is inflicting damage upon itself. Why should I help? And get this whole thing because of space. Everybody needs to feel there's a place for them. Blah blah blah. Without Starfleet, Federation crumbles, and that dream dies with it. Yeah.
I thought it was a superb speech with a just, Gwen finally getting to do something for real this half of the season. She's been relegated. I like the Klingon lady. Although, what's her line? Oh, it's a bit later. But I like although, as I said to you earlier, the fact that so many ships show up, they're Klingon birds of prey, means there's an entire Klingon force in the heart of Federation space, which means we must be thoroughly allies with Klingons at this point to allow an entire army of ships in our space that is so close they're warpable away in like 5 minutes, which means they're right next door. Which means they also picked up the other distress call and decided not to jump in. I'm just saying, because they're that close.
Ray Ricks, 5 pounds.
Hey.
I would still think there would be a standard language at Starfleet Academy. I agree. I think standard or some kind of way to communicate if universal translators go down would be a course at the Academy. But whatever.
I don't know, when you've had it as part of your entire life and your family's entire life and your dad's entire life and your grandfather's entire life and your great-grand's entire life, if it's so basic that you've always got one, you're going to get a bit lax about it. It's like saying, are there farms on board ships that grow food in case replicators turn off? No, there aren't. But it would make sense to. Yeah, but they're so used to...
Yeah, there's hydroponics bays on most
Yeah, but
ships.
not enough, not a full thing to feed the crew. There's never been a thing. Like when Kess grew food, it was like, I'm growing food. Holy shit! Wow, I'm in a bay of it. Like they don't just have entire forests with apple trees ready to feed the crew. So at some point, it's just everyone's so basic at basic.
SVS Guru 2,000, €5. And if English is Federation standard, shouldn't every Starfleet officer know how to speak it?
Yes.
At least those with vocal cords. Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of vocal cords, this is the Enterprise getting pewed in this great Dauntless / thing. So that's the Enterprise getting absolutely viciously attacked. Oof. Oof.
Well, we saw the Centaur's bridge get taken out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, lot of killing in this episode. A lot of killing.
Janeway says, good effort, but I have to evacuate the ships now.
I assume every captain's already given that order, let's be honest.
I would hope so.
Like, they're not waiting for an order.
Yeah. And then we see the first ship get actually destroyed, and it's the Centaur class. The cell getting torn off.
I don't know if you noticed yet, but there's another render error here. In this one shot, the first 2 frames, every ship's in a different position. And it clicks into the new position. And then 3 of the ships then do a really hard maneuver and then stop.
I did not notice that at all.
So clearly they just, their keyframes at wrong places. It's really kind of silly, but it's like, okay. Render errors, oops-a-doodle.
Huh.
And then for some reason, when you phaser a ship, the warp grills, the Bassards, and the Winners all turn off at the same time.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
The exact same time. It's like, that's not really...
Even if you take out the main power source, there's auxiliary power generators that kick in and stuff, but...
Well, not just that, but like, it's spinning plasma in the Bassards. Like, there's things going on. They wouldn't all turn off the exact same rate. That's not... Like, even I actively do it at different rates when I do that sort of effect, because even if they're staggered by 1 second, they're not going to be...
You see the lights like go... and then go out, and then like even the warp coils will like pulse a little bit and then fade.
Like, I know it's a small thing, it's just it looks a bit, it feels off when that happens, because they're not lights, they're things. They're things that are doing things, and so they wouldn't all just turn off. Yeah.
No, they're just lights, Samuel. They're just like underlights on cars just to make it look cool. It's just the way it is. We got our likes up to 81. We're at 96 people watching though, so let's try to get to 100 likes. Hit that like button if you have not already. Keep the super chats coming. We're having a good conversation here. There's a lot of destruction here, and one egregious shot of the back of a Sovereign with no impulse engines and missing windows.
But a beautiful shot of a Defiant from the top with blue panels rather than grey, which is another error.
Yep.
Yeah, they literally... There are many render errors in this episode. And...
But no one will notice. It's fine.
Hero shot. I mean, it literally is just someone just deleted the layer impulse engines if it just didn't realise. Because there should just be a block of impulse there. Like, that's what's there.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, data is gone by this point, yes.
And it's nowhere near as egregious as the Gen Hey, which is missing everything. Because I can forgive a render error versus a we just fucked up. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But as chaos is happening, the Crew of Dawn is leaving. This is the absolute end. The music swells beautifully. And Akira with a very, very bright deflector all of a sudden does, for the first time, a rotary torpedo launch, which we called in 2016. Thank you for watching Trekyards.
Yeah.
And
that's a beautiful shot.
It gets saved by a not Burrell.
There's the Dauntless.
And the Klingons.
What's not a Burrell?
Have come to save the day, and it is a very stirring moment. It very much feels like the Cerritos, warping in moment, or the Titan warping in. It's got the same vibe. Now, what does this lady say when she warps in? Because she says something.
She says, "Starfleet, the mighty Treeg offers you salvation. Prepare to beam out."
Because I heard House of Tree when I watched it. So the mighty Treeg. No. So her name's Treeg, Captain Treeg, I guess. Cool.
Trij, yeah.
Or House Treeg, whatever. But yeah.
Well, she says the mighty Treeg, so I don't know.
But I assume that's the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
An entire fleet of not Burrells shows up and putting their absolute lives at risk. Because, boy, do you want to get hit by a Sovereign's phaser? I don't want to get hit by a Sovereign's phaser.
Nope.
And they do have losses. And it is a lovely, excellent scene.
But she does say prepare to beam out. So if they do beam on board, later one of these ships gets totally destroyed. So there's still loss of life.
Well, and not just that, but you can't beam while shields are up.
It's also true, yes.
So the very nature of stopping the beam means you can't beam. So I'm assuming that some ships are doing... it should, you would think, be each Klingon ship will work in pairs, one to block a beam, one to beam.
Yeah.
There's got to be a plan here. But then all of a sudden, some very, 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 very old ships show up. But we saw them in Enterprise, in Lower Decks.
A civilian Sura class.
Surak.
Sura.
Well, they're not. Surak. You can see them.
Well, Sura, according to the closed captions.
That's fine. And clearly the model for Enterprise. Clearly. Looking excellent.
A Gorn trading vessel.
Yes.
Which is the same one that's using the remastered TOS.
Woo!
You can see it down there by the Centaur.
It's the most Easter eggy of the ships that are visible. Yeah. And guys, that tells us that we're not at war with the Gorn. So we're once again Gorns are good guys rather than aliens that eat and fuck people to make babies, to kill, to venom, to all that shit. No. They're gonna help Federation with no reward in mind.
Yeah.
Good job. And they're in Federation space. Deep in Federation space. So we are obviously either at peace or at treaty with the Gorn. Good job, Prodigy. Thanks for that.
Yeah. And we get an old Patarian bulk freighter.
Yes, we do.
Bora Marauder, of course.
And this is great. It's the same ship as the Casty Yates design. And obviously Decora from earlier in the season. Random ships to warp in, but I love it. And I'm assuming they'll play a big part in episode 2 because each of these take a bit of time to convert and add to a scene. So good job for yeah.
And SVS Guru 2000 throws in 10 euros. Would have loved it if after Gwen gave this rousing speech about the Federation being a safe haven for people of all kinds, the Klingons would just call her a patok in disgust and hung up. Oh. Yeah, but you think Martog would be like, no, we got to help these people. Not that he's getting the communication, but still. But as they're talking about all the ships, it's like, whoa. Jankum understands you. Janeway fixed translators. So. And then they're all excited. They're cheering. Yay, we've survived. Just see some really good shots of the ships, getting in the way. So you got Klingon ships, the Ferengi all taking hits on their shields. It's like, yes, yay. And then the Sovereign warps in. and an Akira, and they instantly turn red and start firing at each other. Next episode, we'll have the Tholians put a web around each ship. That'd be cool. Was that the Titan in a scene back? I don't know if it was the Titan specifically, no.
Yeah, the angle looked like a Luna, but it wasn't. It was just the Akira that shot. But it was angled in a way that certainly was confusing.
Mechator96 throws in €50, so thank you so much.
Wowza.
Merry Christmas, guys. When they said that Starfleet ships sent out auto calls for backup when everything is going wrong, I was thinking to myself, wouldn't Starfleet just not send any more ships there after losing over 30 ships and quarantine the area? Well, they're not getting reports back from those ships, so they're just like, yeah, ships are just kind of disappearing. Might take them a while to figure that out, though, honestly, because ships will be on their way to help. Yeah. Probably take a while. 92 likes, 103 people here, which is amazing. So hit that like button. Another 8 likes, get to 100. Thank you, guys. Turnout for this one has been great. So hopefully you'll be back next week for our breakdown and review of that one as well.
You'd like to think.
Make sure you're subscribed.
Another note about the not Brels is that none of the engine lights are on.
Yeah, I know.
So many engine lights on many ships aren't on, but you know, it's all good. Oh yes, and the Tellarite ship. Oh no, it's not. Wait. Well, it is, but it's got things at the back which someone may or may not have had still. But yeah, Tellarite ship back. Yay. Yeah, Sovereign comes in with its terrible plates. And also, there's a weird note where the Akira warps in, instantly goes red, and fires a torpedo from its back, like backside, but it goes straight. And why would it fire torpedo as soon as it went red? They have some weird pacing issues there. That's okay. And yes, a Centaur being destroyed. Even more pew-pews. Lots of ships. God, can you imagine if this came out when Discovery came out? Like, the lack of cannon in one show and the absolute astounding amount of cannon in this one. I mean, it's just, like, mind-blowingly different. The difference of love, Stuart, is radically different. My goodness.
Yeah, and then we see one of the Klingon ships just get annihilated.
And it's legitimately sad, because it's like that could be the lady that came to help. Like, these guys are entirely innocent. They're just trying to save people. There's no other motive here. It's really sweet and sad at the same time.
Yep.
And then a Defiant fires phasers from its pulse phaser cannons. Without warp engines. Don't think you can do that, Stuart. Just fire the pulse phasers. Like,
yeah. But yeah, you get to see the close-up of the USS Centaur again.
Poor Centaur captain. He's dead.
Yep. Underside of the Defiant.
Also problematic. Oh, no windows, guys. They removed the windows for some reason on Defiant. So just ignore that.
Is Defiant supposed to be NCC at this point, or is it still NX?
I mean, the 3D model's NX, because they just use the same 3D model from before it got killed. I mean, it would be NCC. But it's not. But that would be a brand new canon-y thing if they did do that. So I guess they didn't want to have to add on to that.
Fair.
Yes.
Patrick James throws in $10.
Oh, thank you.
Merry Christmas. A very fine and honest review. As always, here to a great 2023 for Trekyards. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. 5 more likes get to 100, guys. 5 of you have not hit that like button. I can guarantee it. So hit that like button.
Yes.
Yeah, then we got a nice shot of like the killing field with the protostar in the middle.
Yeah, it's a bit dramatic.
And that's all she wrote.
I mean, it is a moment, and the fact that more ships warp in and go red and start firing instantly is just horrific. Because this battle's never going to end, you know?
Yeah.
Oof.
Ray Ricks, 2 pounds. No pretty purple torpedoes this time.
No?
Are you talking about the lower decks? Purple.
Oh,
green
yeah.
ships?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, what an...
That should be the former Sao Paulo renamed to Defiant. Yes, it is.
Yes.
100%.
But what an amazing last shot. I mean, holy shit. I mean, like I said to you earlier, the level of effort that went into this episode feels so outstretched by any other episode of this season. Time, effort, pew-pews, good shots, battles, dialogue. It's just an astounding level of effort.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Dan says the Defiant can shoot phasers from the top of the ship. Yes, it can, but the phaser beams are coming from the pulse phaser things.
Yes.
And somebody said upgrades. I mean, it could be that's the case, sure. But Alan Parr says, was disappointed that they didn't use the Defiant's pulse phasers. The sound of those firing is epic. Here's the thing. They did use the pulse phasers. Not as much as they should have, and they didn't use the sound effect, so...
Yep, that's why you didn't really register them. And the Defiants were super underused anyway. Probably, maybe because they always said Defiant, and therefore they couldn't get away with showing it as much, because obviously clearly, why is the one Defiant chasing them? Every other ship it's much smaller, possibly. But guys, 50 more bucks, throw in some tens. We'd love to hit this Christmassy number.
Yeah.
Your scores, of course, Stuart. But we're so close. This has been it's like so much support right now because we really need this for this month. You guys are doing amazing. So a couple of fives. But
Mino Others says this is Planet Mars. No, it's not.
It's not on fire. No, it's later. I'll do one more poll before we end as well. Is this the best cliffhanger of 2022 Trek? Yes, 76%. No, 24%. Very nice.
Yeah, no, this is not Mars. This is something Draconis sector. It's very close to Earth, sector-wise, but it's not. It's not Mars. They're not in Earth's solar system. But anyway, yeah, 2 more likes get to 100. 2 people, come on, hit that like button. Now's your chance to super chat in with your scores. I will read the super chat scores after we're done giving our final review and scores. And if you want, just put in the regular chat. Samuel will read those after.
I want to know scores. I really do. So
put in the 10.
Yeah, let us know. And why? Let us know why you think as well. I'd love to know some thoughts.
And the new poll is: how excited are you for next week's? Very mildly excited. Nah, it's another episode.
Yeah. So Stuart, what do you think?
Christopher Beatty throws in $10. Great episode. Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
What do I think?
And after our review, do you feel any different having fully deep dived it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think any new insights were gleaned. I've seen this quite a few times, 4 or 5 times now. So, it's a fun one. I do love ships. I hate going back and rewatching it though and seeing all the mistakes, like certain engine elements not lit up, or whatever. Seeing the hull numbers and the registry and the ship names, where it's a sovereign and then it's the sovereign warps in later. Just stuff like that kind of annoys me.
Yeah, 2 sovereigns in one shot is a bit of a problem.
Yeah,
because you can easily see them both being the sovereign.
Yeah. And Ray Ricks gifted 5 Trekyards memberships. So Alan Parr, Donnie Pearson, Sean O'Sullivan, Eric Martin, and Armando Rodriguez are all gifted memberships. So that's a great thing to do at Christmas time. So thank you very much, Ray Ricks.
Some famous names in our chat. Amazing. And vote the poll, guys. Vote the poll.
And as for the pacing, I think the pacing was good overall. Yeah, there was 1 or 2 like kind of slam on the brakes moments, but not too bad. Not too badly handled, I don't think. Mostly a logical episode as far as things played out. And I did like seeing all the callbacks to the other ships showing up. Like the Gorn, like you didn't need to do that. That was amazing though, to have that included. So there's lots of love in this episode. Dreadnought going like full like attack mode was cool. But safety protocols initiated, I guess, the non-lethal kind. It was kind of a strange decision. But yeah, it's a kid show. You don't want to kill get it, yes, but it just doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of things.
And if they had killed the kids, especially for Christmas as well, like
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
We killed all your favorite characters. Then that would have told the audience, yes, we're time traveling next week. Like that would have been obvious then. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how they get out of this. It's a kind of a real sticky situation. There's a lot of death happening here, a lot of destruction of Federation ships. So it's a very good cliffhanger for sure. And as usual with Prodigy, it's a very abrupt cliffhanger. So cannot wait for next week. So score wise. Okay, there's like two different scores here. One just for the pure enjoyment of it, and the other one for knowing all the errors, especially with the ships and the rendering errors and stuff. I'm gonna have to equal those two out. So I want to go with a 9.1.
Okay. So it's your second strongest of this batch of episodes.
Yeah, sure. And as you said when we did our review earlier, this is your second favorite out of this batch of episodes. So perfectly in line with what you were thinking.
Yes, guys, keep super chatting. Throw in some fives. We're getting so close. It'd be fantastic. My thoughts, yes. Really, really good episode. As someone who does a lot of this stuff, I have all of the sympathy in the world that, you know, I can often make mistakes where just something goes wrong and just the ambition is just so outstretching what you would think the budget of the episode is and the team would need. And they're not like Discovery level shots where it's like, oh, it's an okay shot. Most of the space shots are really good shots with good creative decision, good pacing. You do sort of understand the structure of the battle, which is a hell of a thing to do. The scale feels mostly consistent, give or take. The character stuff is genuinely good. The script's good for the most part. Everyone gets at least one fun line or moment. All of them, even Janeway. That's good. Yes, there are lots of tiny plot holes, but the non-known how long the episode is in real time doesn't help. What is going on at the same time might affect how some of the pacing issues are, etc. So if we knew that, there might be more of a consignment. There's definitely a few things they could have fixed with single lines of dialogue, a la the Andorian saying, and, you know, Commander Weather to fleet, I'm taking control of the Armada, wait until Dauntless does its mission. Like, there are easy plot hole problems they could have solved instantly, but whatever. Jellicoe's in it, that was a great cameo, etc. I don't like the warp grills and Mossad. I will not do that if I ever do this battle in a fan film, because I'm just refusing to do that. But yeah, really, really good episode. It's emotionally, the last few minutes really got me with the speaking Federation values to anybody that'll listen is really special and very well written, very well handled. And the idea of, yes, non-Federation people, Gorn were our enemies. Klingons were our enemies. We've had wars, fought both of them. Yet now we're at a point where they appreciate that we don't want the Federation to lose life for no real reason, came to our aid. That's beautiful and heartwarming and special. It wasn't just Ferengis and Andorians and those guys showing up, it was actual enemies that obviously in our space doing nice things, helping for no reward, just because they can. Not something I would have expected in this episode, is already big enough, etc. And then, yeah, the last moment of we're basically screwed. Yes, there might be a very quick wrap up, but the emotion I felt at the end is very best of both worlds, and that's a thing to achieve, because they could have, you know, I mean, this is the entire culmination of all 20 episodes is this battle, and it achieved it somehow. So score wise, I'm going to give it a 9.49.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think any of the render errors take away from it. So. And the reason I'm saying 9.49 is because I gave Kobayashi 9.5. And that was slightly better. So.
Yeah.
But just slightly, like, just because it's a bit more clever. But this, for what it's doing, it's exceptional. So. Very good job.
Absolutely. We're still 2 likes away from 100, guys.
Oh.
2 of you need to hit that like button.
Oh.
We got 6 new members as a result of Ray Ricks gifting some memberships.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there was a new member before we even started, but it didn't show me who it was. So thank you to whoever that is.
Thank you indeed.
Would like some more super chats. We didn't get any super chat scores out of 10.
Oh.
So if you want to do those right now, that'd be awesome.
We're so close, Stuart. We're so close.
I know. Two really great numbers. So just anything you guys contribute, just throw in. We had a last super chat snipe war on my live last night, so I don't know if you guys want to do that today. It's weird how sometimes those just kick off and they just snowball. So
yeah.
But what are some of the scores we got there?
There you go. So, and guys, vote your score right now in the chat. I'll read them out. Everyone, 82 of you. Go to your phones, go to your whatevers, type in the score. I really want to know what you guys think. So, we've got Jasper Jelly, 8.5. Okay. The Stanleys, 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Alan Parr, 8 out of 10. Aussie, 9.6. And, of course, Donnie's score from Aussie is a 10, of course. Of course. Tara, 9 out of 10. Alan Parr, 8.9. Joseph, 9. Eric, 9. Mecha Centaur, 8.5. That's right at the edge of that. Planet X, 9. Devro, 10. Christopher, 9. Dan, 9. Ray, 8. SWTX Chaser, only 8.25. I say only. So that's a good mark normally. The Darth Eddie, 9. Mr. Jericho, 7.5. And Dan, 7.5. Shockingly low scores, I'd say.
And your dad, 9.6 out of 10.
Oh, wow. Hey, good job. Stole that from me, didn't you?
8.5. Metallica fan, 9 out of 10. Yeah, that's talking to your dad because he's watching. Did you realize that you were in this episode too? You're the transporter guy. Did he notice that?
No, we watched. We were very intensely watching it, so I don't think he necessarily saw. It's like, we never get cameos, Stuart. He gets 2.
I know.
What a world, eh, Stuart? There's no curly-haired English guy and Canadian with glasses hanging on these ships. Well, if we were in this battle, we'd probably be dead by the end of it. But now, I must admit, probably I've got a bit of bias knowing the amount of work went into this. I can relate on an entirely different degree than any of you can, except Matt Baldwin, to how much space works take. So I'm obviously relating in a very specific way.
Yes.
Because I know exactly how much work this took. But still, like, that shouldn't, there's a lot of other stuff, good stuff. I mean, even like we talked about when we talked about Kenobi, a lot of the fight scenes are really bad. The sword fight in the bridge is good. It's really well choreographed. Like, whoever was on action nailed it this week. And that is, especially when there isn't real gravity. Like, for Kenobi, at least they had, like, actors on a set to base their movements off of. So for animation, for it to work is pretty impressive.
Yeah, overall, this was a very standout, stellar episode. So I can't wait for the wrap up. This could be like the best season ender ever.
Oh,
potentially. Who knows?
Because the fact they committed. Because if you think about what happened this week, almost nothing structurally, right? If you look at little plot points, it was like 3 things actually happened. But within that, they gave it all the time they needed. So if next week only 3 things happen again, and give it all the time in the world, I have faith it'll follow the same format of epicness. It's probably worth doing a prediction next week in our between.
Maybe.
If you have time. Because there's certainly a lot you could debate on where this could go. I'm super interested.
Zero Bang says all Star Trek scale 7 out of 10, New Trek scale 12 out of 10, Prodigy scale 9.25 out of 10. I like that rating system.
Yeah. Yeah. Although interesting, somebody criticized us a few lives ago about our scoring system that average isn't 5. That's not how professionals review anything. Like, 5 is still good. Like, nothing is ever. So like apparently they were saying like the worst episode of Trek, which was in IMDb, was the TNG recycled clip show. That was a 3 out of 10.
Shades of Grey.
Yeah. And he said we would both think it was lower than 3. And I said yes, because it's worse than 3. Like, there's not 3 level of quality in it. And so most episodes are within 5 to 7 range because 5 is an average. I'm saying, what's the point in that then? And why did we change our score system after 5 years? We've been very consistent. And if everything's better than 5, then most things, like a lot of things, are going to be between 9 and 10, 9.41. Like, what's the point in making lots and lots of 9s for the sake of 5 being above, like, not being average, 7's average. What's the point of 5 then? No, 1 to 10, or 0 to 10 surely is the score. 5 is average. Most Trek is above average. And some is terrible. Like, I can give 1s. 1s exist. Shades of Grey is probably a 1. You know. So
Who was criticizing us?
Someone. I don't know, it was just some comment.
Oh.
I mean, fair enough. Like, we're not professional reviewers, and they were saying we aren't reviewing anything like professionals would, who would not review things that low because the average is not 5. The average is like a 7.
Yeah.
It's like, right, well, we've done the same thing for 5 years on every single show. So if we change our system, it will devalue all the other scores.
Yeah.
I think it was saying our TNG last review was way too high or low, or was too low, and they're like this weird.
Who cares what some random person says?
Oh sure, it was just they had a long like dissertation of like thought put in, so it was interesting to.
Oh.
Like it was a full like 2-3 paragraphs of like how we aren't professional reviewers. I'm like, well, we have our own score system and it's called Averages 5.
Never said we were professional reviewers. We did a show about ships.
Yeah.
Score the shows like we'd want to score them. So.
Because besides, you know, anything in a 9 is very solid, which means that when we give it a 9 point anything, it really is a top tier episode. Like, we've only got a few 10s, and 10 is by having the way we do it, there's a really high bar of 10 or 9 or 10. That means something special, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Devo77X says, Captain and Commander, saw you were both in the Trek Culture 25 or 250K video. It's great they finally made their goal and hope they get more subs. Maybe Trekyards will get to at least 75K subs soon. Not with the numbers we've been having, no. It's going to take like another 10 years to get to 75.
Yes, we're 4 times older than them.
Yep.
Yep.
We're not as flashy and showy with clips and stuff, though, so...
No, because because they get paid by, you know, you can't necessarily ad revenue, but you get paid by other things, so, etc.
Yeah, they have sponsors.
Because they get, you know, salary for doing it. We get paid based on what we do, so tricky. But yes, it was nice to be asked to do that and to be included. That was a stressful video to film, and there's way more than that one video coming out. They've got a whole slew of anniversary things, which will be exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot more of us going to be in those videos, so.
Yes.
Anyway,
Indeed.
Can we get another $20?
Or 20 should be.
22 is what the number, but 20 would be great.
22. 22.
This Jericho says Trek Culture isn't as good as Trekyards. Aw.
Oh.
If only more people thought like you.
Well, we're way more in depth.
A little bit too much for some people.
I know, yeah. I mean, most people don't watch documentaries, Stuart. Most people.
I find that hard to believe. I love documentaries.
I know, but I said by most I mean like 51%. You know, whereas a lot of people just enjoy 5-minute random lists that are cute and edited. Like there's popcorn entertainment versus detail entertainment, and we do, you know, hardcore deep dives on things that they just don't do, which is fine. You know. For the most part, all of our content is new and not recycled ideas from previous people, you know. But you know, I was watching the Doctor Who content the other day, and it was fun to re-see the logic behind stuff.
Yeah.
But look forward to our Prodigy videos this week, because boy, you know, you know, there's renders, you see things. It's pretty.
Oh yeah, we got some good videos coming out of that I'm excited about. So, SVS Guru 2000, €2 or €20. Sorry.
Hey.
2 and 20. I have this weird rating system where anything below 7 is just various degrees of bad.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's fine. Everybody's allowed to do things the way they want. So.
Oh, yeah. Dan Bevan says, "Trust us more than most professional reviewers." Well, thanks. Yeah.
That means a lot.
Yeah. It is all subjective, but at least that's why the scene by scenes are important, because we're giving each scene its due.
Yep.
And often kind of one shot you know, you won't see 20-minute reviews that call out one shot for 5 minutes. But sometimes, yeah, they need to be called out because they're really freaking cool. Or one impulse engine that's not turned on.
Yeah. And Dan Ben says some people say Trekyards have contacts, but not the views, and they're absolutely right.
That's fair.
100% right. Yeah.
Yep.
I'd rather have the trust and respect from the people that actually work on the shows.
Yeah.
Than a higher sub count and not have any respect from the people that work on the shows. So
yeah,
it's a fine line.
Yeah, we've each pushed our contacts in fun ways over the years that most people can't do. So yeah.
And Dave Stelzer, $5.
Hey,
hey guys, happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, does anybody have big plans? Let me know in the chat right now. Do you have epic Christmas plans or chill Christmas plans? Nothing that elaborate, just let me know. And your plans to be up to the snow, apparently. So I wish you luck.
Yeah, there's travel advisories in effect for the next few days. I don't know if we'll be able to do some of the things we need to do, but we'll see.
How much?
It's a massive blizzard right now.
I was about to say, how much more than average is it, would you say?
For what?
For this time of year. How much worse than average?
Well, we don't really get storms like this ever, really.
Oh.
It's very windy. It's like minus 15 degrees earlier today, but it felt like minus 32 with the wind chill.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, so, and we're supposed to get 100 centimeters of snow over the next day, so it's like a meter worth of snow.
Oof.
32 inches. Yeah.
You could jump in that and be fine from like a second floor.
More or less, yeah.
More or less. Could you do me a favour, Stuart, and when you finish this, take a video of it? I would like to see the carnage.
There's not that much right now, but yeah, I do have a video I can send you of the wind earlier today.
Yeah, I'd love to see just the carnage because, you know, like we've talked about lots of times, the idea of, you know, a blizzard's fun when you're in it, and then when you're done with it, you want it to be done and then go away. Like, snow's beautiful, but don't stay and mess things up.
It was nice. We didn't have anything to do really today, so we were sitting at home, like finishing up our Christmas wrapping and stuff. And I'm like, I can't relax because I know I have to eventually shovel this. If I didn't, if I knew I didn't have to shovel it, it would be way more enjoyable to just sit inside during a storm. But watching it pile up and be like, I gotta shovel this shit. Ugh.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, we're only 23 away from a giant number. I'm just gonna say that. Like a really, really big number. Just saying. But I'll relay two brief things. 2 snow times, I agree with you. But when I was at university, everything was included bills-wise. So you don't know the satisfaction of being able to put the heating on full and also having the window open because you're too warm to have a nice gentle breeze in while snow's outside and you're a university student just enjoying life was rather lovely. And then here as well in this office, it's so satisfying to, again, warm room while working. Bright day, snow outside, really nice thick snow, just be able to turn and see snowfall. It's very rare in the UK, so it's very, very pretty. It was a nice full day of just snow. I was awake and I was alive, and yeah, it's very, very pretty. I really like snow. You know, I did one photo shoot in the snow and it was like, quick, get up, let's go do that, because it's not going to snow again for 12 months and it might not be here, and
I like snow. It's cold and wet and irritating.
And it gets everywhere. But luckily it evaporates and then your butt crack gets cold.
SWTX Chaser, $10. Merry Christmas. Still waiting on Mariner to cross over to save Chakotay.
I mean...
Mariner or Burnham to show up. One or the other.
Yeah, any and all.
And Australia is not real. Just ask a flat earther. Puts in $2 Australian.
Thank you.
And says it's a nice 25 where I am. I don't know if that's Celsius or what that is, but... Probably Celsius. Captain Casey Stewart, $20.
Oh!
A little more, he says. And that's great. That got us to our number, so...
And then because of that,
SPS Guru 2000, €5. I love snow. Unfortunately, forecast predicts nothing but rain for the next 2 weeks. Well, that's one of the bitches about this storm. There was no snow on the ground last night. Then it rained. First it drizzled, then it rained last night. Then it froze. Then it snowed on top of it. So all the snow is on top of ice. So that's why there's travel advisories in effect.
Yeah, that sounds why. And just a little fun one. Here's a picture of me in our snow last year, 2 years ago. And it was fun. I did every costume I had at that point, which is then fun to look back and say I only had that many costumes. But each one was obviously varying degrees of thick. and pretty cold. And so to walk out then in my full Wrath of Khan, I was like, oh, I'm fine now. Plenty warm in this outfit. TOS was NX was the coldest. TOS was okay. The Voyagers were okay because they were quite good jumpsuits, and this one I was very nice and toasty in. And there's a little cheeky picture of me.
Being nice and toasty is good, but then you wear it under like studio lights for 10 minutes and you're sweating your balls
off. Yep. No, I've done that. It's and then I mean we all know that when we get flustered, we get hotter, and this as well, and then it's it gets yeah. But there you go. That's a little bonus picture of me from a couple years ago.
Very nice.
And it's great because the snow's like in front of the camera lens. Like so I did have to Photoshop out a few obnoxious snow. Like I've left in most, but there's a few spots I'm like, oh, that looks terrible. So I Photoshopped out some snow. And it's funny, you can see as the pictures go on, the lighting changes because it goes from being bright to dark, and so the way each picture looks changes. But it was like a rush, go, rush, sort of little morning.
It's great.
Yeah, it was nice. Well, Stuart, thank you for this very engaging chat about the old Prodigy. Loving that it's ending on such a bang.
We got one more on the 29th, and we'll be with you guys on the 30th to talk about it.
Yes.
But before we do that, there's an ad. And after the ad, thank you guys for watching this year. You guys are what makes us go. So without you, there wouldn't be an us. And we want to wish you a Merry Christmas beforehand. We will have a video coming out Christmas Day. Plus, I have one on my Captain Foley personal channel about the Advent calendar build. If anybody wants spoilers, here's what it looks like finished.
Ooh.
But check out the video on Christmas Day as a Christmas gift for you guys. And yeah.
And just briefly, one brief little joke. Remember how this week I said, oh, those last two episodes of Prodigy won't be on our top 10 of the year? Yeah, this would have made it in the top 10 of the year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew they would be personally.
So I find that slightly funny because it totally would have been higher. Yeah.
So, yeah. Thanks everybody. Be safe out there if you're in the blizzard, because a lot of areas are affected by this thing.
Yes.
And if you're not, just still be safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't do stupid stuff. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your time with loved ones.
Yes.
Hope you get everything you want.
Yes.
Maybe what you deserve.
Oh.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but.
And whatever you do, don't call the Protostar. Bad stuff will happen.
Yeah.
Cautionary tale. Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. And we'll see you next week. And you'll see us tomorrow, maybe, if you tune in. Until then, he is Captain Foley.
He is Commander Guy.